Hello everyone, and welcome back to Lux Society. Today we will see some big projects which never saw the light of day, and the reason why these projects could never complete. Before we get into the list, make sure to like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel. The first project on the list is the Hassan Tower that was supposed to be built in Morocco. The founder who sanctioned the Hassan Tower was Abu Yusuf Yaqub al-Mansur. The construction of this tower started in 1195. The original plan was to construct the Hassan Tower up to 260 feet in height. The mosque was supposed to be one of the tallest minarets of its kind. Unfortunately, in 1199, the man behind this mosque, Abu Yusuf Yaqub al-Mansur, passed away. After his demise, the construction of the mosque came to a sudden halt. The construction of the minaret could only be completed to approximately 140 feet in height. The successors did not have enough resources to complete the construction. Now the Hassan Tower resides as a historic monument in the city of Rabat, Morocco. And now it is the home to the mausoleum of Mohammed V. In 2012, the Hassan Towers were added to the UNESCO World Heritage status. Next we have the Pride and Poverty of Scotland, located in Colton Hill in Edinburgh. The monument is Scotland's national memorial. It's a tribute to the soldiers and sailors who passed away fighting the Napoleonic Wars. Charles Robert Cockerell and William Henry Playfair were the ones who designed it. The construction of the Pride and Poverty of Scotland began in 1826, but unfortunately, due to a lack of funds, the construction was left unfinished in 1829. There was a desperate time to reconstruct or turn into something else, but the redesigning never happened. The locals were angry and disgraced by the decisions. Hence, the monument got numerous nicknames like Edinburgh's Disgrace, Edinburgh's Folly, Scotland's Folly. In December 2008, it was repaired to reposition one of the stone lintels. They cost them £262. The next one we have is the Palace of Soviets, which started its construction in the hopes of making it a political convention centre. The construction of the palace began in 1937, but it came to halt when the Germans conquered the country. If the construction took place according to the original plan, then the palace would have created history. The palace with the statue of Lad Amir would have stood tall at 328 foot, making it the world's tallest structure. The Grand Hall planned to be built in a way that could accommodate 20,000 people. The palace tried to rebuild for several years until it came to its final halt in 1962. Let's move on to our next one, which is the Zhanjiang International Project. China is known to be a technologically advanced country. They have constantly transformed themselves for a better future. China has always been in the news for turning concrete cities into ghost towns. These towns have zero population, and one of them is in the Hubei province. The international project was divided into two sections. One was for the residential stay, and the other one was for the entertainment section. The original plan was to build the residential complexes in European style. There were going to be connecting bridges, parking spaces, many shopping complexes. It was as if they wanted to create a mini world that was different from the rest. There were plans to include skyscrapers too. In one of the initial plans, they had also planned to add water and enjoyment theme parks. The area reserved for the entire project was more than 1,300 acres, out of which 426 acres were going to be reserved for the theme park. The construction of the Zhanjiang stopped midway in 2014. It was due to the corruption charges put on the construction company. The company had planned to invest $17 billion, but due to the case, the company went bankrupt. More than 700 complexes were sold during its construction process. In 2017, the local authorities took control of the area, and it remains in a state of abandonment. Ryugong Hotel is an unfinished project that's located in Pyongyang in North Korea. The hotel has one more name called the 105 building in connection to its number of floors. The pyramid-shaped building began its construction in 1987. It was said that North Korea wanted to make this structure due to the rivalry it has with South Korea. During that time, South Korea had made the tallest hotel in the world, was located in Singapore. So North Korea started its dream construction of the hotel with financial backing from Russia. The building stands tall at 330 meters, and the plan was to have 3 different wings. The 3 wings measure 100 meters long each and 18 meters wide each. In the original plan, it was going to have 5 rotating restaurants. The construction of the hotel came to a halt in 1992 when the Soviet Union dissolved. At that time, North Korea entered into an economic crisis, and the building was left without any windows or interiors. Years later, in 2008, the construction resumed, and the exteriors were done after 3 years. On Kim Il-sung's birth, they decided to open the hotel in 2012. They announced a partial opening in 2013, but it was cancelled. The Egyptian company that had taken over the construction had installed a glass facade. In 2018, they found a use to it and installed an LED display on one side. That display is now used to give information about Korean history and messages from the government. In 2010, Qatar government launched the Doha Bay project. The project was renamed Doha Shark Crossing. The designs to make this crossing were presented by the Swiss-Spanish constructor back in 2011. The Qatar government started the project, got the right to hold the FIFA World Cup in 2022. Many controversies came into the picture when they got the grant. It leads to the pressure of a transparent inquiry about the details of the project. After this many, FIFA officials resigned. But the Qatar government still went ahead with the 2022 vision. The original plan for the billion-dollar shark crossing was to make 3 parts connected via an underwater tunnel. The lengths they would have covered were between 600 and 1,310 meters. The bridge was bound to connect 3 places: Doha Hamad International Airport, along with Qatar Cultural Village. It is located in the north of the city. And the 3rd place was the West Bay Financial District. For the Doha Shark Crossing, the government had set aside a budget of $12 billion. But 2 years after the start of its construction, came to a halt due to various reasons. There was an overburden due to the multiple constructions. The oil prices went down visibly low, and also a shortage of labourers. In December 2019, the Qatar Work Authority started looking at the plans again and decided to restart the construction. They called out to many local and international companies, and the result was that the reconstruction was scheduled to start in 2020. The Qatar government decided to set aside a budget of $140 billion for the multiple constructions to complete. But even if the construction starts, they are going to take at least 4 years. So there is an invisible chance for them to complete it by the FIFA World Cup in 2022. The future will tell us whether this project will be completed or abandoned like the rest of them. The last one on the list today is the London Garden Bridge. Everyone knows that the London government had assigned $70 million to the project, even before the construction started. If the construction would have gotten complete, it could have been one of the most iconic bridges, as it was planned to build over the Thames River. The innovative idea was to create a floating garden, which came from the actor Joanna Lumley in the 90s. The plan was finally proposed years later in 2015, where they decided to build a 366-metre bridge. It will be filled with trees and flowers. The initial budget for the bridge was $85 million. The plan was to start the bridge from the Temple Tube Station and connect it to the North Bank to Queen's Walk. The timings of the bridge would have been 6 a.m. to midnight. It's a total of 18 hours. The estimate was that the bridge will have 3 million visitors per year. When the budget was raised to $260 million, $85 million were taken from the public. There was an outrage. The cost of the project was not going down, and it started facing financial issues and backlash from the public. So in the end, the decision was that the project will be shelved. The London Bridge remains one of the costliest projects since they wasted millions on the planning part, and the construction didn't even start. That's it for today's video. I hope you loved it. Let us know in the comments below what topics you want to see in the future. See you soon. Bye all.